So for those of you who are, I consider entry level, and when you look at the journey, it's kind of entry level, mid-level, exit level. And when you're in the beginning, you really don't know what you've gotten yourself into. And everything beyond where you are seems very mysterious. First of all, I want to assure you that at whatever you're feeling right now, at every step along your journey, you're going to drop back into that feeling. There are moments where you'll feel victorious, and there are many, 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 many more moments where you will not. So I'm not here to squash anybody's dreams, but when I started school, the numbers that I was given should have given me pause if I had any doubts, because the owner of our school came in and talking to the theory class, and I to this day I don't understand what his purpose was, but what he said to us in San Francisco at the Academy of Stenographic Arts, dear Mr. Barefoot, that was his name. He looked at us and he said, you know, for every 600 students who walk through that door, only 2 will ever finish this course, and only 1 will be certified in the state of California. And I remember kind of looking around, and there was probably about 20 of us, and my brain just couldn't even compute those numbers. All I could think of was, well, I signed up for this because I knew I could do it. I wanted to do it, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm just gonna do it. I didn't think about the numbers. And it was probably 10 years into my reporting career that I sat down and realized, oh my God, out of those 20 people that I started with, I was the one. And there were incredible people in that class. I don't know where they are. I don't know what happened. They all kind of took off without me. And I was always in a group of people that I didn't know, because it was always the next bunch coming through, and then they'd go through, and there I was sitting there in that moment of what the hell's wrong with me? Always comparing myself to other people going through faster and getting better results, and the people who passed the test. You always heard about the people who passed the test. You never heard anybody celebrating about how they didn't pass the test. So we missed those people. But I don't know what the numbers are. I probably should do some kind of calculation, but I always wondered, you know, is he bullshitting us? Mr. Barefoot, were you bullshitting us? I don't know. But what I've heard in more recent years is that it was very clear delineation of 90% will drop out, and there's 10% that will go on to become certified and working. Now, I have talked to several people who, when they started school, and they looked around the room and they heard, you know, there's 90% of you who are, look around, because 90% of the people in this room will not be here in 6 months, 8 months, a year from now. But there's 10% of you in this room that will be finished with this program, passing the California State test, and be out working. Some of those students looked around the room and said, well, yeah, of course I'm in the 10%. Well, where else would I be? And they are, and they're out working now today. Their journeys were faster than mine, because my journey was fraught with me doubting myself. And when I got to that point where I wondered, am I going to be able to finish this? Am I what it takes to do this thing? Oh my God, this is so much different than what I thought I signed up for. And it's so frustrating. Coming from a world of you better get some good grades, or else you're not worthy. You're not lovable. You're not even likable. If your value is hooked up and linked up to what you're able to accomplish. That's the world I came from. So going into school where you fail what, 100 tests maybe for every one pass you get. Give me some numbers out there, you guys. Start keeping track. I want the numbers. How many failed tests do you take and then you get one pass? Because frankly, if I had heard that when I started, okay, there's part of my brain that says you would quit. And there's another part of my brain that says, no, I'm a Taurus and I'm stubborn. And if somebody tells me I can't do something, I will do it and take pictures. So there's that dichotomy of even my personality. But if somebody had sat me down and said, okay, here's what you're going into, you're going to be taking a whole lot of tests, and most of them you're going to get back and you are not going to have passed. Some people will call those fails, that you will have failed that many times. Can you handle that? Can you look at those not passing tests and make them a learning opportunity so that you can figure out why you didn't, if you thought you could, you were ready for that next speed, and to use those as learning experiences to analyze, what am I doing I could do better? What am I weakest in? What am I strongest in? What am I good at? What am I not good at? And to really look at the experience as something that is happening for you. Because otherwise, like I did, I felt like it was something bad that was happening to me. Like I had no control over it. I thought I was ready to pass that test. And then the test didn't let me pass. The words were too hard. The speed was too fast. Something triggered my brain. It was the test's fault. Something triggered my brain in that test that made me start thinking about things, and it threw me right off course. That's the test. That's the school experience happening to you. And it would take me 40 years of reporting and 5 years of studying neuroscience to understand that something that some people just pick up organically. But that when I'm in a situation where I feel like something's happening at me, I have decided I'm the victim. In that moment, something is happening to me, it's happening at me. And so therefore, I'm a victim of that circumstance. And it's your perception that will keep you going forward, or it's your perception that will stop you, stall you right out and tell you to quit. It's your perception that helps you decide what kind of world you're in. Because way back then, if I had understood that this is the game, you're going to fail a whole lot more than you ever pass. So what are you made of? Is that going to piss you off, make you mad, make you drop back into that victim mentality that maybe feels so familiar for you, did for me? Or are you going to look at it as information that you can use going forward to make your journey faster, easier, better? If nothing else, more tolerable. You're going to fail a whole lot more tests than you pass. What are you going to do with that information? Because all of this, if you accept it, all of this is happening for you to guide you to the next step in your journey, to help you understand where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, above all else, to help you understand who you are. I'll tell you, after 44 years of reporting, I understand that that journey through school had it had less to do with building skills and more to do with building me. What are you made of? And what's happening today for you? Have a great day.